Hi everyone, Tara Malarkey here, founder of Seven Figure Femme and High Ticket Empress. And today I am talking to Miss Ashleah. I am so excited to interview her because her niche is so cool and you guys are gonna love this. So welcome Ashleah, welcome to our interview of your success story inside of High Ticket Empress.
Oh, thank you so much. It's been such a transformative program. It has been honestly one of the best investments that I've ever made in my whole life.
Oh, thank you. That makes me so happy. So tell us, like, what's the highlight so far? Because I mean, you're just beginning, right? But we're going to capture this beginning success. So what has happened so far?
So within 6 weeks, I sold $9,000 for my beta program, which is the most I have ever charged for one of my programs.
Amazing. Like, that is just incredible, especially, right? We always have to be really clear on like where you were before. So first, before we go into like what were you charging before, right? And like what a big jump this is, tell everyone what you do.
I am a hairdresser who incorporates a holistic wellness experience into behind the chair. And I love to teach other hairdressers how to do that so they can really create this high ticket holistic experience for their clients instead of the a la carte services, kind of getting away from that conveyor belt moment at the hair salon.
So good because it's serving both the client, right, having a new experience and like a deeper experience in for their hair experience, right, but also it helps hairdressers who are running businesses like get out of perhaps the monotony that they started to feel, the hustle of just having like, client after client after client, and just like feeling burnt out, right? So you're really helping them grow their income and have a better lifestyle.
Yes, this is so much about increasing their profitability without the burnout because there's tons of ways to increase profitability, but they all required sacrificing my well being. This was really the one method that worked for me.
So good, so good. So what were you charging before then?
So for my program, when I launched it, gosh, like 17 months ago, I was charging $50 for it.
Okay. Yeah,
And I slowly bumped it up over time, but that's how much I charged in the very beginning.
yeah. And it's like, understandable also when you're just beginning, right? You're not sure and you want someone to buy it. But what was the point where you realized, well, like that's not sustainable and that's not really going to work long term, right?
Yeah. So I think that when the student is ready, the teacher appears. And I had been looking for you because I had started this program and then I started doing one on one coaching. And I very quickly realized within probably 7 months of one on one coaching, this was a recipe for burnout. And if I was working behind the chair and I was like cultivating this way to eradicate burnout and increase profitability, well, surely within my coaching business, I should also find a better way.
Right. Yeah, like you're teaching this perhaps in another like niche, right? But the concept you're teaching that you don't stand for, right? Like this hustle burnout, like burn yourself to exhaustion. And then you were like, oh, okay, I have this other dream of, teaching at another level and not just maybe doing hair services, but then how do I do this also in a way that's in alignment, right? That isn't the hustle, burnout, and work to exhaustion.
Correct.
Yeah, that's so great. That's so great. I love it so much. So, talk about what was your biggest hesitation before joining us?
Oh my gosh. So I love the idea of like we're always the mirror, right? So it's like if I want a high value client, then I also have to be that high value client. And so I've invested in coaches before, and some of them have been lower dollar, mid level, what have you. I have to say, I don't know why, but your phone call was the one where I was like, yep, here you go. And I didn't feel that weird achiness in my gut or my heart or anything about putting it down. Like, I think I knew this was really going to transform my life. And I was like, okay, here we go.
Amazing. Can you like, do you know why you knew? Because I feel like for some people, they have that experience, right? A lot of people and a lot of students inside of high ticket numbers, they had that like, oh my gosh, this is a thing that I've been searching for. And I think some though don't, and they're not sure. And they have yes, I think this might be it, but they're also like really scared. So what would you say?
Well, it's because, like we always don't feel good about our business. And so sometimes like when the emotion comes up in that like nervous system moment where I'm like, oh my God, do I feel safe? I don't know if I feel safe. And so I would and you spoke to this, and that really like helped me was, constantly pivoting, being like, oh, this isn't going to work. Now I'm scared. So now I'm going to pivot and do this thing. And, and it would even manifest in like my launches, right? Like now I'm going to teach this meditation class, and now I'm going to do one-on-one coaching. And then I also have this class. And then I worked behind the chair. It was like just da, 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 da. And I realized, and I had to go through that like hamster wheel for a solid year of doing that, and then realize like you can't run from this. Like you have to find a better way. And so when you like everything that you like, I saw like on your videos and especially your emails, like they really spoke to me, and I felt really seen and heard by you.
So good. We love having you a part of the program. So you came inside, you learned what stands out for you?
Well, I was really gung ho in the program, like right away. And I was really excited about really figuring out like marketing and like who are my people and honing in on that, because I had never really been challenged to do that before. And that was really spectacular because that's the foundation for everything.
Totally.
It was pretty funny, like learning about, it was really wonderful that the tech was so palatable, because that's always been like my shadow, like, oh my gosh, like, how am I going to do this tech? I don't know. Can I deal with this? Am I smart enough? Whatever. I had this old like adage, like, oh, I'm just a hairdresser. Like, I don't know how to do this. So I really appreciated being like, led through this and realized like, oh, it's not as scary as I thought it was. Like, I just got to show up. I basically have to decide to show up over and over and over again. It's literally how it is.
Totally. Yeah, we really do make it as simple as we can and kind of give you everything, like especially when it comes to the funnel, which you're working on now. But yeah, your part, right? Every student, I'll never lie to someone, right? You got to show up. Like I can't make you show up. So if you show up, like it's laid out for you and you can have the same results.
Yeah.
So learn how to create a high ticket offer, one, right? Like an offer from your expertise that would sell in the marketplace. So that was like number one, what's going to sell? What are people going to buy? And then we taught you how to go out and get new clients. So you first started charging for your beta $1,500.
Yes.
Yeah. And like, tell us about that for someone who's listening that's like scared of bumping, right? From $50 to $1,500, right? What was that like when you're on your first call with someone and you're talking to them about selling your program?
It was pretty terrifying, I have to say. But I listened to like the sales call recordings over and over and over again. So I would like hype myself up 100%.
Yeah.
Like I learned how to like optimize my Facebook profiles and I got my beta students because I'm on Instagram so much as a hairdresser. So, it was a lot of organic outreach, and I had already laid the foundation for some of that, but I don't think it's necessary to launch your beta. But yeah, it was just really, it was kind of scary, but then it also wasn't. I think what was really beautiful is that you basically gave me permission.
Right.
Like I was like, oh, okay, I can do this. Okay, great.
And it is worth
it. It was literally like raising to that level of like, oh, okay, you can totally do this. This is great.
Yeah. Yeah. So many people say that, and I remember that too from my early days. Like when I told my coach my offer and then, he or she is like, yes, and you should charge this much, like something in me was like, okay, yeah. Now like that person heard it who is an expert and says yes. And that just gave me what I needed. And it's kind of sad, right? We don't need anyone else's permission, but it does give you something, right? Like you coming to coaching calls, me reviewing what you have, and the coaches on the team reviewing what you have and being like, yes, yes, this. And then you're like, okay, cool. Like, yes, I can do this. I can charge that much. And now you're going to bump your price, right? You're going to double your price.
Oh yeah. It's like, I'm like doing like baby steps, but there are moments where I think like, oh gosh, like you could actually bump it up even more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because this like transforms your business within the hair industry.
Yeah, exactly. You start to really acknowledge the value that you're providing, right? One,
100%.
right, totally. So yeah, I want to circle back to something that you said there, that you listen to the call recordings, because I don't think a lot of people know that we give that to you inside the program. So you want to share a little bit for someone who doesn't know like what that did for you. So we give you sales calls recordings so that you can really learn sales, not just from like I have trainings that teach you it, but then you can actually listen to live sales calls that we've done.
Yeah. And it's still something that I'm like refining over and over again. But I would listen to them like while I was making dinner, because you can just listen to like a whole bunch of them, which is outstanding. And I was taught as a woman, like I have to be kind and I just have to be like nice and like be polite. And so if somebody would be like, oh, I need to think about it, I'd be like, okay. All right, cool. I'll talk to you later. Bye. And but I loved like that, like the turnkey moment was like, but you're not actually really serving them if you kind of like let them get off the phone, like ask questions, because there's a reason they got on the phone with you in the first place. There's part of themselves that is longing for this transformation. And so this is actually being of the highest service to somebody, to hold their hand and walk them through it and just be curious and ask questions, but also be emotionally unattached, you
Totally.
know?
Yeah.
And like, so that, I mean, I still go back to those because it'll still happen where they're like, I need to think about it. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't expect you to be totally like an expert at it now, but you sold 6 spots in your beta, so that's pretty good. So it obviously worked, right? What we teach you, but yeah, like it is a change of mindset around it, right? It isn't about pushing someone. It isn't about just selling, and being, I'm just selling just to get my part of this. No, it's really being in the interest of helping this person. And you're not helping them if they are just in their comfort zone, which is going to say, this is scary. I can't make a decision, right? All that is just bumping up against comfort zone. I need to think about it. And, you just ask them questions, and it's not like about exactly being attached to the sale or the outcome. It's like, let's talk about, what do you think you need to think about? What aren't you sure about? Let's talk about it here so I can be there for you through that. And it actually serves the person. So I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. So you learned all of that. Anything else you want to say that really stood out to you that you learned inside the program so far?
I mean, so I will always get like that, like upper limit moment where I'm like, "Ah," like my shadow, like, can I really do this? Am I smart enough? Am I worthy enough? Blah, 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 blah. But I'm always a fighter. And so I feel like my resilience, like kind of, if I fall down, like I dust myself up and I get back in the game. And so I've just really appreciated the community that you have, because everybody's super supportive. And so even if I like had that propensity in the beginning, because it was the beginning of starting the tech, it was like, oh my God, I have to buy a ring light. What? It was like so funny, like my resistance and how ridiculous it is. And then like being like, okay, just buy the ring light. But deciding to like dust myself off and come back and like, always having just like open arms, super supportive, just like really amazing to like feel held.
Yeah, thank you. That's really important to me too, that everyone feels that. And after having been through years of being in this, journey myself, knowing that, yeah, there's going to be moments where you kind of retract and you hide a little bit and you go into doubt and you start to like, it's just a natural thing. And like, I wish I could control that all the time for every student, but I can't. But what I can do is continue to tell you guys, hey, we're always here, like here, like here's the process, or like, create a challenge to like loop people back in and, to complete the funnel, like if you're not doing it, so we just like, I find the community to be one of the most important things about High Ticket Empress.
Yes. Yes. And the most beautiful part is that you actually created the space where I'm like, oh, this is possible.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is going to happen. And that's amazing. And I've never felt that before with any other coaching programs or educational like classes that I've taken. I'm like, oh, this is going to happen. And that's an amazing feeling.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you for that. And that's obviously a lot to do with you and who you've become. But, thank you for that. Because it's my goal. It's like why I do what I do. It's sad because the other night I was saying on our coaching call, I think the other day I was saying on the coaching call, but the night before and I don't know if you were there, but I looked at some of our like ads, right? We had like so many hater comments. And I was telling a student, hey, because she's at the beginning stages and she was expressing how like that visibility wound comes up. And I was like, the good news is that we all experience that. The bad news is that it doesn't really go away, right? So like that still hurts my feelings. And I have a multi-million-dollar business, right? It still hurts my feelings that some people think that I'm in this for the wrong reasons, you know what I mean? Or that I don't care, or that we just want to make money and we don't care about people's results. It's like, oh my gosh, So, these moments like just fuel me so much because of why I do what I do, So thank you.
Yeah, you changed my life.
Thank you.
You did.
And you're just at the beginning. Like I really can't wait to see like what happens when you set up your webinar funnel and you have leads coming in from ads and like, that whole thing happens and you have assistant coaches and like sky's the limit, babe. It's so good. So what would you say, just final question, what would you say to someone who's thinking about joining us?
Gosh, I wish I'd done it sooner. Like I wish I'd just gotten over my fear and just jumped, because it's like, you can be as great and as big as you want to. You just literally get to decide. Like I had so many little like things, like my world was so small before. It was so small. And now it's gotten so much bigger, and that is freedom.
Yes. Amen.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much, Ashleah. Do you want to tell everyone where they can find you if they are interested in following you?
Oh my goodness. My website is becomingceremony.com. On Instagram, I'm Becoming Ceremony. And then my new domain is High Ticket Hair.
Yes. I love it. I love it, girl. All right. Well, I'm going to see you in about an hour for our high ticket funnel challenge call, right? So anyway, for now, we'll see you and we'll see you on the next interview. Bye, guys.
Thank you so much.